When there's a new world order because of this decline, through history over the last 500 years, has there ever been two superpowers that emerge as the dominant superpowers? Or is it just tends to be one?
In the past, prior to World War One, there was no w- World War One happened, and then World War Two happened because the world came together and there was one world essentially. Before that, there were regions and they would have the different powers, and you could have a powerful China or India could be very powerful at the same time as the UK or the Dutch and whatever would be powerful, and they weren't in that one world. And the basic issue is when you have one world and you have disagreements, you're always going to have disagreements. How do you resolve those disagreements? The rules based order is a theoretical conception of the United States coming out of World War II, because there's the idea of how do you govern, and you have representatives, and you have them in the United Nations, and so on. And that's a nice theory, but the reality is when that comes in is inconsistent with power, which wins, power or that rule-based system? So by nature, to answer your question, it means tends to be a dominant power.
There's pretty much always been a superpower through different cycles. There's been one dominant power through these historical cycles. You're saying that you believe in the next decline, there won't be one dominant power, which has been the US for the last 80 odd years. There will be two, because you can't foresee there being a conflict at the scale that would result in one dominant power.
The strength of each country will be how they take care of themselves. Are they going to be strong or are they going to be weak based on how they educate their population, how they spend their money, how they manage themselves? Those will determine the relative powers of those countries, right? And so that'll be true certainly for the United States and China. And so as we go forward, how will those systems deal with those issues in the best possible way? And that I would say, as long as the United States remains a power, but it has a risk of having a very bad set of circumstances through debt and conflict and these things that erode it. It'll be from within that those things particularly could change that relative balance of power. And similarly, if China managed itself badly, that could change that.